Just bats. Highlights include baby bats born this year and the grand opening of the new Education Center. For more information, visit the Luby Facebook page or www.luby.org/Batfest.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, less proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
You're having another great day and you have good taste tuning into WOCA The Source with Ocala Talks and Tom Schmitz. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. I'm proud to be in studio now with Jennifer Frein. She's the Associate Vice President of Career and Professional Programs at CF. And Bonnie Hayes, she is the Manager of Work Readiness at CF. They're here to talk to us about how CF can partner with the community in a working relationship for jobs and advancement. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's talk a bit about, Jennifer, let's talk a bit about what you're here to tell us today about the CF and how it works with the community, in partnership with the community.
Sure. Well, we wanted to talk to you and share today that the college has a lot to offer employers and businesses. We always want to make sure that they know that what's available to them. So Bonnie's going to talk a little bit about a new web page that we have that's a portal for them. We want to make it available so that employers can just visit that site and get all the information they need and know who to talk to, because often they don't know.
Bonnie, when she says the college talks with employers, what can the college offer employers that they would need to come to the college for and need to come to this web portal?
Well, there's all kinds of resources, and we are really open to creative ideas as well. So we're open to collaborating to help them out in any way possible. But I think the big need right now in the business community is candidates for job openings. Everybody is hiring. Everywhere you look, there's job opportunities and job postings. So we do have a resource there on our webpage to be able to post job opportunities for our students and graduates. There's a lot of different ways we can connect those employers that are looking for candidates, whether it's for job opportunities, career, part-time jobs, full-time jobs, or internships as well. So we've got students that are looking for internships, and that's a great way to get a candidate into the business.
When I was in college, lots and lots of years ago, we had a portal that told us about jobs that were available on campus. But very little did we know about jobs that were available as soon as you stepped off the campus. And we missed out on a lot because we didn't know that lumber yards were hiring, or that drafting businesses or architectural businesses, if you were majored in architecture, were hiring. And people go, well, yeah, but what were they hiring for? People to run plans, and people do, but it's all part of osmosis. You breathe some of it in. How important is it that people understand that the college has this workforce in its student population, and to reach that workforce is very important in filling the gaps that are obviously out there in the community, or we wouldn't see so many help wanted signs?
You know, the thinking has really changed. It used to be that we thought, well, go to college and study and then go to work. And that's no longer the case. I mean, most of our students are already working. And so we try really hard, and Bonnie's area does a great job to tie that relevance to the student to know what you're studying in class, you can go out and do at the same time in a job, and you really should look for a job that's in field, that work-based learning. So that's why all of our AS and bachelor programs have an internship component, and I'll let her talk about that a little.
Talk about the internship, because I'm very interested in this, because from a sales and marketing and production standpoint for the radio station, it's like two of us. Yeah. So to have somebody that's in sales and marketing, this might be a good avenue. The radio station might be a good avenue for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it works both ways, with employers getting to know what's available on campus, but also, like you said, students need to be aware of what's available out in the community. So we're really trying to spread that word to our student body that, yeah, you need to be looking for opportunity while you're still in school. Like Dr. Frine said, that you need to get that experience while you're studying. So really encouraging part-time jobs, internships, volunteer opportunities, service learning, and all of that is listed on this webpage that we're talking about. It's cf.edu/employer, and there's all kinds of resources there. But again, we're trying to get that word out to our students to take advantage of the opportunities like you talked about here at the radio station, and just an opportunity for an intern to come in and learn real world sales and marketing techniques that maybe they're hearing about in class, but to put it into practice in the real world just takes it to a whole other level. And there's a statistic that 90% of students, the reason that they're going to college is for career, for new job opportunities and career development. So we're really trying to get that message to the students that, yes, you need the academics, but you also need this practical experience as well.
I remember how invaluable I thought it was my first day in the classroom, because my degree is in social science education secondary. Okay. I was a high school history teacher. And how invaluable my first day in my classroom, how invaluable that student teaching I'd done, the internship I'd done, to get practical, real-world experience in a classroom under the supervision of somebody that knew what they were doing, because I had no clue. Right. How invaluable that moment, that time was to when I actually got my own classroom. And back when I was in college, very few disciplines had the ability to send somebody in and get real world experience while they had somebody there that actually knew what they were doing, under the tutelage of a professor that also knew what they were doing. But now that's something that CF is starting to offer across the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the big goal of internships. It's not just an opportunity to have, somebody to do some labor for you or some work or whatever. But like you said, it's a professional who can provide that guidance. And we've got a really supportive business community. Lots of employers in the community do offer internship opportunities for our students. And they're very interested in giving back and wanting to invest in the next generation and maybe raise up that talent pipeline for their own company. But that is a big part of internships, is getting that guidance from a professional. And I think students really need that. And you see that aha moment from a student who is doing an internship and just finding that passion and learning so much. And then sometimes a student finds out, maybe this is not the career field for me. And they've learned it while they're still in school, so they can kind of change direction and look at another option.
We're talking with Dr. Jennifer Frine. She's the Associate Vice President of Career and Professional Programs at CF, and Bonnie Hayes, she's the Manager of Work Readiness at CF. Dr. Frine, how much is the ability of students when they come on campus to already have 1 year of college out of the way, so that they, through their high school experience, so that they now have more time to really get into what their major is, get into internships, getting into where professionals can help them? How important has the change in the approach to college, where a lot of kids come on campus already with that first year out of the way, how much has that improved the educational abilities of colleges?
I think it's made students more ready to sort of zero in, like you said, on what they think they really want to do and get in the middle of that. But I would actually sort of reframe it and say that when you think about students in high school thinking about their future and their career, the opportunities they have now for, career and technical education, for example, the internships that we offer, they can also do those at the high school level. They need to ask about it, inquire about it, but it is as valuable at the high school level for them to do that sort of thing as it is for us to have it in our programs. It's kind of a continuum. So they've got a lot of opportunities, and when we get students who come in our door who have these industry certifications, a lot of high school students are getting these industry certifications. That didn't used to be as much of a thing, but it really is now. That actually makes them eligible for college credit through our Career Pathways program. Students don't always know about that or aren't always thinking about that. That saves them time, it saves them money. They have those fundamental skills, not just in math and English, but also right in their career field already. So they are way ahead of the game. So I'd encourage students to take advantage of that.
We've talked quite a bit about students and the advantage from their end. Bonnie, talk about, though, with the internships, and you said it gives a student a chance to see whether it's something they're actually suited to do. You may think you want to be a high school teacher. Then you get in a high school classroom and realize, because I wanted to be a special ed teacher. That was originally what I wanted to do. For the wrong reasons, because special ed teachers made more money. I got to do it for the wrong reason. I went to an observation room, a one-way mirror observation room, and saw a student stand on a desk and turn in a circle, relieving himself on everybody in the room. I realized right away I didn't have the temperament. If this student had done that to me, I wouldn't have had the temperament to deal with it. So I went to Fred Page, my advisor, and said, it's not what I'm cut out for. I need to reevaluate where I'm at. So students get that opportunity. But how important is it that employers also now, through CF, can bring students in and they can see through real world experience whether the students are what they're looking for?
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because we do want feedback from the business community on what kind of skills are needed, how our students are performing. So having an intern in their office, they're giving us some feedback on their performance and where we could maybe improve our program, how we can help our students perform better. And you mentioned going out into the field and doing an observation. It's another thing we love to do is industry tours and taking students out to actually see, what happens in the workplace, whether it's manufacturing or engineering or IT, business offices, et cetera. That's the kind of thing we like to do. So that's where we have some creative collaborations, really wanting to forge those partnerships with the business community and get their branding in front of our students and build students' awareness of the opportunities that are available here.
If an employer is listening to this program right now and their interest is piqued, what is the process where they can partner with CF, to become part of the website? Talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, so our webpage that we really want to refer everybody to is cf.edu/employer. That'll take you right to our employer connection page where there's a description of all of these things that we're talking about, plus a submission form. If they've got a question, they have an idea, they just want to talk about some possibilities, they can just punch in their information on that submission form and we'll get back with them and just start that conversation. So all kinds of creative things that we want to do. We bring in local business representatives to speak to our students in classrooms, and that's just so advantageous because it collaborates with the academics, what we're teaching in the classroom, and then you have a real world professional also speaking to the students and bringing that perspective to them.
And we have some there's some things not on that page. So yeah, submitting, just to work with us and talk with us. We have some employers who are so savvy right now that they've figured out that if they work with us directly and they've got 5 stellar employees who are maybe entry level but they want to retain those employees, they want to keep them for a long time, then they'll work with us and we can put them into programs to skill them up, whether it's a certificate or just some specific training through our corporate college, and then that way they keep them for a longer time and they can work directly with us. We can do, they can pay the college directly. They don't have to make the student front the money. We do all kinds of creative things like that with a lot of employers every day.
We had the corporate college folks on last time.
Yeah.
And so, we learned that it's not all about, sometimes it's about getting specific training in a specific field. And what you're saying is an employer, if they already have good employees, there are opportunities where those employees can then take advantage of classes at CF to better their skill set at the job they're already in.
You've probably heard that statistic where if you lose an employee, it costs you on average $3,000 in time and energy to replace them. It doesn't have to be that way, and those really smart employers know that. And the small businesses tend to be the ones actually who have that ability to be really quick and agile and take those kind of risks. So, that's who, we love to work with all size employers. We've got something for just about all of them.
When you say work for all size employers, what are some of the you touched on IT and all. Can you run the gamut on businesses? Is there something for for every business in Ocala that they could benefit from this program through CF?
Yeah, there really is. As Dr. Bryan says, our career and technical programs all require an internship, but there's other students that are looking for internship opportunities or job opportunities. But, I just think about, the manufacturing industry, which is so large here. So students might not be thinking about that if maybe they're studying accounting. And they're like, why should I look at a manufacturer? But accounting is included in every business that
Accounts
you can
receivable,
think of.
accounts payable.
Right.
HR and
marketing.
HR and IT is needed at every single business, and small, medium, and large. I'm working with a company right now that has 3 employees and looking at placing an accounting intern with them. And we've got a really good partnership with CareerSource, which you're probably familiar with.
We know Laura Burns really well.
Yeah, of course. So we've got a great partnership with them where we can identify a candidate, and CareerSource can sometimes provide funding for a paid internship experience, a work experience, on-the-job training experience. They've got different programs where they can come alongside the student and the employer and provide that benefit, which is just wonderful for the business community. So yeah, every kind of business.
I ended up getting two interns from CF. I own a small business aside from this called Brick City Creative Group, and it's a video production and podcasting production and recording studio. And I ended up with 2 interns that came from CF through CareerSource, where CareerSource paid 90% of what their salary would have been if I was paying it for a 12-week program so they could learn, and then I could either hire them from that or they would be ready for the real world. I hired both of them. They have since left me and went on to better opportunities, but that's the kind of thing you're talking about when the entire community comes together to partner.
Yeah, such great collaborations, and I love that. And there's just so many other creative ways we're open to just thinking outside of the box and making that happen for our business community. That's what we're here for, is to help the business community to see that economic development in our community and see students get those, job opportunities and work experience like what you provided.
Yeah, because it was invaluable. For 12 weeks, I got to train them. I got to put them the way I needed things done, the way it needs to be done in the world of video production and podcast production. And then they were able to go into other jobs that were able to pay a little more than I could, because they went to places in Orlando that were a little bigger company and everything. But the satisfaction to now, one of them now works for ESPN. Wow. And the fact to say, through a partnership of when I say a small business, I'm an ownership and employee. Yeah. I have 1 employee in my business. It's me. Mm-hmm. And the fact that even 1 employee, that CF and CareerSource together were able to give me interns that could not only help me with my workload, but then I could give some of my experience to, and then to see them go to bigger, not only is it fulfilling for what I needed at the time, but it makes me proud to know that these kids are now succeeding, and I had a little bit of piece of that as it was going in. And thanks to the College of Central Florida for the interns and the CareerSource for that wonderful program that I know the federal government subsidizes, but hey, 90% of what I would pay them hourly was what they got paid, because the employers need to know this.
Yeah.
The day of the free intern is over.
Yeah, let's face it, they can't do that. I mean,
there's nobody running for coffee and getting your dry cleaning anymore.
Right, an income.
Yeah.
While they do this.
Everybody says, and this industry I'm in, the radio, is one of the last industries that still tries to use free interns. If you go to some of the bigger television places, most of their interns are unpaid internships. Wow. And I thought, how's that work? Like if we had a sales and marketing intern here, we would teach them sales and marketing, and then they would get the percentage of everything they sold. Mm-hmm. They would make money. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be, hey, you're working, but I make all the money. Right. Because that sometimes, and kids aren't falling for that anymore. Young adults, let's not call them kids. Young adults aren't falling for that anymore. They know they need real world experience, but they need real world money too.
Yeah, and internships are becoming a little bit competitive because there are the opportunities that are paid, and even if it's a small amount, whatever that is, it is definitely more appealing to a student to have some kind of payment as opposed to an unpaid internship.
Now, do these internships count towards college credit?
Yes, they do. So we have an internship class. Like we said, those students are required to complete an internship class. So there's an academic component to it too. They're getting academic credit for it.
How many, if you know, is it all programs, or how many programs across the board at CF have the intern ability?
Just about every one of our AS programs and our bachelor degree programs all have some kind of on-the-job, work-based component that's tied to a class. But in addition to that, you want to talk a little bit about how sometimes it happens outside of the class?
Sure. Yeah. So sometimes there's a student who is interested, and we make that connection with an employer. The student doesn't necessarily is not required to complete an internship, but they want to. So we can make that happen for them. It can be academic credit or non-academic credit. So there's different avenues that we can work with that.
We've talked about how internships can work, but are there opportunities of connecting employers with students just for the job aspect, not because they're doing it as an internship or anything, just as a job aspect?
This is the exciting part.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can share job postings on our webpage. We distribute directly to students in targeted programs, but we are real excited because we have just recently purchased a couple of web-based programs. One is called GradCast, which is a software that can direct connect our graduates to the local business community. So we're building our database of businesses in the community. Would love to have more employers participate in that. It's already front-loaded with about 500,000 nationwide employers, but we really want to build that local database. We've got maybe, I think, 200 or so in there right now. So that's a direct connect, and it's called GradCast. And then our newest product that we're just implementing is called Handshake. And Handshake is another direct connect for all students. From day one, when they set foot on campus, they get access to a software platform called Handshake. And employers can direct connect with those students, view a student's profile. An employer creates a profile and can post their jobs. So we are so excited because it's just going to really accelerate the ability to share those job postings with our students.
Because most students, especially at the community college level, or I don't want to say it used to be a community college, but at the level CF is, a lot of those students have to have a lot of students now have to have a job anyway.
70%.
Right, 70%.
Yeah.
But the fact that this isn't just education based, there's now going to be the Handshake, which offers students it's basically a help wanted place without, because the newspaper quit doing that. So this is basically a help wanted place where students can go and employers can go to partner with each other.
Yes, they can view a student's profile, reach out directly to that student, talk to them about job opportunities. We're so excited about that. We'll be launching that at the beginning of 2022. So we're just in the preparations right now.
When you say, we keep talking about the local community. When we talk about local community, tell people, because a lot of people may think local community just means Ocala. Tell people what the local community that is serviced by CF is.
Yeah. Our service district is Citrus, Levy, and Marion counties. And what's so great about that is our partnership with Career Source aligns with their service areas.
Because they're Citrus, Levy, Marion.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion. So you may know we have the Talent Center on our Ocala campus, but we also work with Citrus, Levy, Marion for Citrus and Levy employers and students as well.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people get caught up with local, meaning only Ocala. And local means Marion, Citrus, Levy, which are all very easy commutes to, if you wanted to get a manufacturing job in Denellen, it's 20 minutes from here, but still, in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. And I think people sometimes forget there are a lot of career opportunities that aren't just in the city limits of Ocala.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think sometimes we forget that. When we talk about local, people go, oh, you mean Ocala? No, we mean Citrus, Levy, Marion.
Yeah.
Right. Where that's the reach of the college. That's the footprint of the local for the college.
Absolutely.
So employers can get involved with this. Students can get involved with this. How did this come about? Somebody very smart had a great idea.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dr. Henningsen, the college president, really has been guiding us and directing us for quite some time to really make sure that we are ready with the change in season of the workforce, where students do have to work while they go to school, where work and college education should be integrated. You should really be, if you can, working in the same field, applying what you're learning in classroom and bringing that real work knowledge into the classroom, so it goes both ways. And so we have kind of staffed up with that in mind to make sure that we have people like Bonnie, we have other folks at the college who are mindful of this all the time. Our faculty are very, very on board with this this in the sense that they want our classroom curriculum to be relevant, and they do a lot of project-based learning. But also I want to make sure I mention that if you're an employer who maybe isn't ready to have an intern, or it's, we don't have one for you right now, we also have advisory boards by sector. So each one of our academic programs that are workforce-based has an advisory board. And so if you're interested in serving on that, feel free to go to that page and submit something, and we'll keep you in mind and talk with you about that. There's a lot of ways you can integrate and connect.
We're talking with Dr. Jennifer Frine. She is the Associate Vice President of Career and Professional Programs at CF, and Bonnie Hayes, Manager of Work Readiness. Bonnie, got about 20 seconds. Tell people the website one more time.
Yep, sure. So the web address is cf.edu/employer. Lots of resources there, and we'd love to connect with the business community. We'd love to hear from you and want to partner with you more.
Thanks so much for coming in and giving us this good information to help bring employers and employees together through the works of the College of Central Florida. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this short timeout. This is Ocala Talks. You're listening to it on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Floods unleashed by days of heavy rain have wrecked crops, blocked roads, and washed away bridges throughout India since Friday. Dozens of souls have lost their lives in the weather. Officials said on Wednesday rescue efforts continues for those stranded. There's big money in the vaccine business. Johnson & Johnson registered $502 million of global revenue from its COVID-19 vaccine in the third quarter, bringing year-to-date vaccine sales to $766 million. J&J, which sells the vaccine for $7.50 per dose, still expects to generate $2.5 billion of COVID vaccine sales this year. Production of the Ford Mustang Mach-E began in China on Monday as the automaker looks to expand to the world's largest market for electric vehicles. The SUV is being manufactured by Chang'an Ford joint venture operation in the central Chinese city of Chongqing. USA Radio News.
There's a lot of confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. With guidelines and regulations changing by the week, one thing is certain. You need an accurate thermometer for your family to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Exam 4 needs to be sanitized.
Mersana's MRI clinic isn't operating at max efficiency. She needs a new certified tech certifiably now.
Someone's waiting in room 2 for an ACL scan. Can you handle that?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Musician Kanye West has legally changed his name. Chris Barnes reports.
God, show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down.
Don't say you didn't get the memo. A Los Angeles judge has approved the request of rapper, producer, and fashion designer Kanye West to legally change his name from Kanye Omari West to just Ye, with no middle or last name. The petition filed on August 24th citing personal reasons for the change, but Ye explained the reasons for the change in a video obtained by Entertainment Tonight.
I believe Ye is the most commonly used word in the Bible, and in the Bible it means you. So it's I'm you, I'm us. It's us. It went from being Kanye, which means the only one, to just Ye, just being a reflection of our good, our bad, our confused, everything. And I'm just more of a reflection of who we are.
Ye was also the title of his 2018 album.
We are USA Radio News.
Some tricks for picking the best pumpkin this year. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
I love living in a rural community where neighbors help neighbors, even if we don't always agree on sports teams, politics, or the COVID-19 vaccines. We all have our opinions. Getting vaccinated is your choice, and no one can make your mind up for you. Talk to your healthcare provider about your questions to help make a decision that's right for you. GetVaccineAnswers.org has the latest information to help you decide. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Whether at your local green market, corner grocery store, or neighborhood restaurant, you're supporting your community when you buy local.
Food grown right here by Florida farmers doesn't need to be shipped as far.
That saves fuel and cuts emissions.
Buying local is more than just supporting area businesses and growers.
It's buying fresh, wholesome, and delicious food for your family.
Products you trust from people you trust.
Fresh from Florida.
Good for the environment.
Good for the economy.
Good for you.
With so many pumpkin varieties and characteristics, it's hard to tell which pumpkin is the best bang for your buck. You could just grab whatever's at the grocery store, but you'll get a fresher and more interesting selection at a pumpkin farm. Just like when buying other produce, there are a few things to keep in mind as you pick your jack-o'-lantern. Go for green stems. This part of the pumpkin can give you some big clues about the freshness of the fruit. Look for a firm, dark green stem and avoid those that look brownish, mushy, or dried out. A cut stem acts like a wick that seeps water from the inside of the pumpkin, leading quickly to shriveling. Just like watermelons, the best pumpkins to pick have a deep, hollow sound when you tap them. To test for a good one, hold the pumpkin with one hand, place your ear next to the pumpkin, and knock on its side with the knuckles of your other hand. Also check for firmness. When pumpkins are ready to harvest, their skin turns leathery and firm. Don't ignore wounds. Pumpkin skin acts a lot like human skin when it gets cut or scraped. Those wounds are prone to infection. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
Today will be partly sunny with a high of 84 to 86, then partly cloudy tonight, low 66 to 73. Mostly sunny on Thursday, high tomorrow 86 to 89. Then a nice day Friday with a blend of sunshine and clouds and a high of 85 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
When it really counts, depend